This is the Tern GSD cargo bike. This particular model is the Tern GSD S10 with the Bosch performance line system, 4-inch watt-hour battery, and chain and derailleur system for the gears. The Tern GSD has really taken the cargo bike long-tail market by storm in the last few years. Tern is a folding bike company that split off from Dahon many years ago. When we heard that they were making a cargo bike, at first I was a little bit confused. The idea of a folding bike manufacturer wanting to make something on the opposite end of the spectrum, I didn't quite get it at first. When the bikes arrived and we started selling them, I now understand. What Tern is great at is making a bike as compact as possible while still maintaining the features that you want, keeping rideability nice, and basically using every last centimetre in a smart way on how it's all laid out. So what we've got here is a cargo bike that can hold 2 kids, is the same length as a normal electric bike, and is lower to the ground, more portable, easier to get on and off, and shares well between short and tall people. So it's quite an achievement, and that's from their experience in packing as much as you can into a small amount of volume. When I first heard that Tern, a folding bike manufacturer, was making an electric cargo bike, I was quite surprised. It seemed to me just the complete other end of the spectrum to what they do. And I have to admit, at first I was wondering if they were just sort of jumping on some bandwagon. When the bike arrived, and particularly when we started putting people on it and their kids, I can understand now how it makes perfect sense. Tern's strength was to fit as much as possible into as small a bike as possible. So they used those strengths to make a cargo bike that can carry a lot in the minimum space possible. So what you've ended up here with is a bike that's the same size as a normal electric bike, but can carry 2 kids, the adult, enough stuff to hold the adult stuff and the kids' things. It's lower to the ground, it packs down smaller, and it suits both short and tall people, all in the same size that normally an electric bike can only fit the passenger, and at best maybe a couple of bags. So it's quite an achievement, and it's no surprise that it's become popular. One of the most common thoughts for a lot of new riders about using a cargo bike is whether they feel confident, whether it just seems over the top, over-engineered, or just generally overwhelming for them. The Tern GSD has been perfect for lots of those people. Being able to have a low step height is really helpful to get in and out. And the low center of gravity of the stuff, low as well as compact towards you, makes it a bit easier to manage when you're moving it around and about. So what can the Tern GSD fit? It's got 2 spots for children at the back. Generally, if you're putting kids on the back, you'll probably be interested in carrying some stuff at the front, so that the Tern GSD transporter rack bolts into the frame. That way when you steer, your gear doesn't. This load is nice and low as well. Tern went with 20-inch wheels front and back to optimize how much they could store on as small a bike as possible. That keeps the weight of the cargo down and uses more of the total length as usable cargo space. They've got nice big wide balloon tyres to get back some of the comfort you lose when you go to smaller wheels. The Tern GSD is not compatible with front child seats as it's using a stem that's got 2 features. One is that it can fold down if you need to fit this into behind a couch or a lift or in the station wagon or something like that, and a stem that can also change angle. That combined with its telescopic seat post, where you can lift that and still have motion here, has ironically meant that this little bike has been the most successful for couples who want to have one bike that fits 2 people who are quite different heights. We've had people, one who's sort of 6'4" and someone else who's 5'3", both riding this bike. So again, something that Tern has been able to use their folding bike knowledge to do. Folding bikes generally come in one size, they're quite little, and they have to fit big as well as small people. The Tern GSD has 2 easy fit windows, so you can fit seats like the Yep Junior or the Yep Maxi. It has all the sort of accessories that you tend to find on a modern long-tail cargo bike. You can get side runners so kids can put their feet down. You can get just single foot pegs, a more basic design that folds in and out. You can get Tern bags or just use more conventional bags. There's various types of seats and cushions that can go on, such as the Tern sidekick seat, clicks in and out. The front rack is a device called the Clubhouse, equivalent to the Uber monkey bars, cages the kids in and gives them a sort of padding to sit on. Tern GSD, in its commitment to being portable and useful for more people, also has something that I call a party trick of being able to stand up on its hind legs. Hold on to the back brake, pull the whole thing up, and it can sit on these back points of the rack. Now, this sort of thing can be the difference between being able to take your cargo bike onto a train or not, if this is what lets it get into the elevator. So in an Auckland context, you can get pretty much any cargo bike into the lift at Britomart train station, but others, like Sylvia Park, you could only get them in if they can stand up, or if they're a bit shorter than most. There's lots of people who live in apartments where they might have room upstairs, hallways, or even in their apartment for a bike, but they can't get it up there if they can't get it into the lift. So that can be handy as well. When you have got it up into the apartment and you think where to put it, there's also the feature that this folds down. So that might let it slide behind a couch or in a certain space that it wouldn't otherwise. So the Tern GSD, low center of gravity, nice step through, spot for 2 Bosch batteries, holds 2 kids on the back, and is the same size as a normal non-electric bike with an even lower center of gravity.